What if confusion is a part of clarity? I have been thinking about this a lot lately, and I don't know where we're going entirely. You know how I feel about maps. I don't know how we're going to get here, but where we can get there, but where we're starting is I feel confusion and it feels like something's wrong with me. Where we're going to end up is I feel something within me reorganizing and I can trust myself. How are we going to get there? Let's find out. Okay, so the reason I'm using this format is because this is like a shift in my own journey of, I just started playing with tarot and I love it so much. And I love talking about all of the ideas that come up and all those intuitive hits and internal knowings and all the chills that come with tarot reading. And I will keep doing it. I love it so much. It speaks to me. And I do all of this work with my clients. It's all based in nervous system healing and regulation, trauma healing and shadow work, and the intuitive, letting people have permission, giving them permission to tap into their own inner wisdom and tying all that together. And it just feels like so much is emerging right now, especially. It's almost like things have integrated within me, or they've begun to in a deeper way, that I'm going to start using different formats for these things that I want to talk about. And it's not always based in tarot. I'm still going to do those. Yeah, oh yeah. But this is like a whole new frontier. I almost wanted to start singing a whole new world. But I'm not. I don't want to say I can't sing. I don't want to put that out there, but I can't sing and I want to be able to sing someday. Maybe it's just a matter of doing it. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. It's about, what does confusion feel like to you? To me, it can feel like so many different things. It can literally feel like mental confusion, like something's coming into my awareness that does not compute, like to the point where it's like, what am I even looking at? What am I even hearing? What am I listening to? What am I reading in a book? When you read something, you have to read the paragraph 5 times and it's still, you're like, I just got to move on, or you put the book down. Like when things do not compute, that's one way that confusion shows up. Another way, another big way, and I've worked with several clients on this particular feeling, the way it shows up is feeling stuck. And I'm getting all the chills. I feel like so many of us, especially right now, have a stuck feeling in us. And that stuck feeling is unique to each of us. It shows up uniquely in different sensations. I've had some people describe it as like that frustration energy where you want to make a move. You just don't know in which direction or how, like which move and in which direction is what is needed or wanted. You just feel that stuck. It's almost like frustration energy that it's like, and then I laugh because I think we've all felt this and it's just like such a feeling. All of these are feelings. Another one is it feels like there's an internal sludge. Like it's just, I've had somebody describe it as like, it's just there, like it just feels like sludge, and it feels like it wants to be stirred. How like when something in a pot that you're cooking and you just turn the burner off and let it sit and it just coagulates and congeals and just gradually turns into a sludge, like a thickening to the point where you're like, oh God, I let it sit too long. Now I can't just stick a spoon in it and stir it. That's not going to help. It needs something like the heat source turned back on. It needs an energy infused into it, and then we can get some momentum. You know where we're going with this. So anyway, confusion can feel like so many different things within us. I know you felt it. How has it shown up for you? For me, it's shown up as all of those things at different points for different situations I was in. And I think most recently what I've come to practice is that instead of mentioning this like in a recent video too, instead of continuing to like push, like to break through something that feels like confusion, like a direction in life perhaps, or a project I'm working on, where you're just like trying to make logical sense, like, and that means like banging that brain against the brick wall and it's not budging. And I felt like I now know, okay, walk away, even if just for a moment, shift perspectives, shift my energy a bit, just do something different. Now that's kind of a minor thing. That's just like minor as in like one task oriented confusion. But a lot of us are facing confusion as in like, this world is going so fast and I'm ready to move with it. Like a lot of us aren't scared necessarily anymore by change. You know, that used to be a thing. And if you still are scared by change, oh, we're going to have some videos about that because that's still a huge topic. But I think who I'm talking to right now are you who you're not scared by change. The only constant is change. You know that in your guts. And you're not scared to like flow with the change. You just want to flow. And it feels like maybe it's showing up as confusion or sludge or frustration or anxiety. Oh, I got all the chills. Anxiety is like one of the number one things people walk in my door with who they want help with it. It could be for body work. They know that their way out of anxiety is like touch, movement with the body, massage, relaxation. The other modalities they do also deal with anxiety, like somatic experiencing or craniosacral therapy. And anxiety is a lot of times people feel it right here. It's just like a buzz or a, like it could, your unique anxiety is yours and you might describe it differently than anybody else on the planet. And I honor that. Like however you describe it is true for you. And yet there are common themes that we've all experienced. That, like they're similar flavors. And I think anxiety oftentimes shows up as like, it feels like electricity, static electricity. And sometimes it's so bad, it sends out those shocks, you know, that kind of feel like they hurt. So where are we going with this? I think we know what like confusion and feeling stuck feels like. And since I'm talking to you who knows, like you're ready to flow, you're ready for movement. Because the antithesis or antidote to feeling stuck is motion and movement, momentum. So spoiler alert, that's what to do when you feel stuck. But we still don't know like, well, what kind and what direction, right? Well, what if confusion is part of clarity? And I believe they are. I believe they're two sides to one coin, two ends of a spectrum. How do we bridge? How do we get from one side to the other? I think that's unique for each of us. Not each of us. Like I said, there are common themes. But what I'm really curious about exploring with you right now is like there's a deep, I feel like getting, like we started this video from the beginning with talking about how there's like I feel confusion or I feel stuck or I feel anxiety And I feel like that means something's wrong with me. That's where we're started. Where we're going is, I feel like this confusion or anxiety or feeling stuck is my body's way of reorganizing, and I trust that deeply, right? That reorganizing is the key, I think. I'm feeling it so much lately that there's so much reorganization going on within each of us at this particular moment in time. My earrings keep getting caught on my sweater. You might see me like... Seriously, there's so much reorganizing internally. Oh, I feel like there's something happening where our awareness is moving forward, moving out ahead of us. Like, it's like our consciousness, whatever word you want to use, our awareness, like our higher self, our next level of growth is like being projected out ahead of us. And we recognize that out here or up here or whatever you feel like is a leveling up is not in alignment or matching our current self vibration, identity, level, dimension, whatever you want to call it, where I am still here in this physical experience, this physical reality, and my awareness is out ahead, leveling up, ready to go. And so there's this mismatch. It's like, oh, I know we're going somewhere because it's like gone out ahead of me. There's like a readiness. I always say this. There's a readiness in you. There's a flow that's wanting to happen. And the confusion feeling, the anxiety, the stuckness, I don't know why I'm doing this, is your body's signaling to say, oh, get ready. We are about to reorganize to become the physical manifestation of what your awareness already knows you to be and where you're going. Let's pause with that. That's what I've been feeling, that I have not been able to articulate until this very moment, is that's where we may feel temporarily out of alignment, and that makes us feel like, oh my God, something's wrong with me. I don't feel like myself. What I think a lot of us default to is like, oh God, how do I get back to feeling like myself? Which means we're pulling our awareness back into our current state, which ultimately is not where we want to be, because that inner self, that higher self, is going to come back and feel temporarily in alignment, but be like, oh, that's not what I was going for. What's wrong? It's going to feel not right. How do we do it the other way then? How do we say, okay, I feel stuck. I feel anxiety. I feel confused. I feel not myself. How do I put more attention on that future higher state awareness and give my body, this nervous system, this personality, this self that we so like to identify with, grace and understanding and time and quietude in order to reorganize the unique way that it needs to, and it knows how to without this getting in the way. How do we allow that? It's I'm getting all the chills, an allowing energy to bring in, to say, in due time, just tell me what you need. Tell me what you need, and I will give it to you. Now, who is me and I don't know. You figure that out. Who are the two parts of you talking? It's a cat in here. It's grace. It's allowance. It's time, space, quietude, all of that, nature. We've been saying this all week. That's why I feel like there's something growing that we're all feeling And we don't want to be pulling our awareness back to current state, because that's not what's meant for us. We are meant to evolve. We are meant to level up. We are meant to quantum shift. We are meant to raise timelines. We are meant to raise vibration. All of these to me mean the same thing. And that has been my journey of like language being so important to me in terms of like really clarifying how I feel about something. I'm a very language oriented person, so I have to connect with my own language. And to me, those are all synonyms for the same thing. You do you. You might have nuance between them. And if I really wanted to do a whole video on the nuance between them, oh, we could go there and we would do it and we would tease them apart. But in this video, I really want to feel into, what does reorganization mean? What does reorganization feel like? To me, it feels like the bridge between, here's my current physical self, there's my future state self, there's my awareness hanging out there, pointing the way, saying, come on, come this way, I don't want to go back. Like, you come this way, I don't want to go back to you. Like, that's what's happening, and that's why we feel that. But how? So what does reorganization feel like? We know what confusion feels like now. I'm sure you felt into that already. And we may not want to revisit what confusion feels like, because you're like, yeah, no thanks. I've got enough anxiety. Thank you very much. And yeah, so maybe we don't want to feel into that. But what does reorganization feel like? And you know what? Dang it. The caterpillar butterfly analogy came up this week, where it's like the soupiness that the caterpillar goes through is that reorganization phase. It's like the caterpillar must know. It must be like, oh my God, my days are numbered. If I stay a caterpillar, I will perish. And that's us right now in that, like, don't you feel it right now? The world is moving so fast. It depends on what lens you're looking through. Some people just don't have that sense that it's moving fast. And that's not good or bad. I'm just saying, if you feel like it's moving fast, I feel like there are different levels to everything. And right now I feel like a quantumness kind of energy. And I'm not talking woo-woo here. I'm feeling like, whatever woo-woo means, I'm living this experience of feeling like we are, like I said this today, again, in a different video, that quantum shifting thing is taking on a whole new meaning for me now. I literally feel like I'm in the year 2027, at least. And maybe versions of me are even in different years. But from a real felt sense, I feel like I'm a year in the future. So maybe that's why future self is now making this style of video. I don't know, but isn't that fascinating? It's fun to think about. But don't you feel it? Like there's this readiness amongst a lot of us who are like, I'm recognizing that this, okay, I no longer want to feel, and I actually no longer believe something's wrong with me. I'm just ready to do something about it. I want to know what it really means, right? I know I'm fine. I'm okay. There's nothing inherently wrong with me. What is this anxiety? What is this stuck feeling really signaling to me that I need to pay attention to? How am I supposed to be reorganizing? How do I tap into that future state awareness to say, like, what is this all about? Where are you leading me? Who am I becoming? Who am I becoming? Like the caterpillar. Caterpillars here going like, if I stay a caterpillar, something, my intuition knows I will like die pretty soon. Now let's not be dramatic with your own example. Like, you're fine. You're not going to die soon. God, why do we have to say that? Scratch, edit, cut that out. I don't edit my videos, so just pretend we didn't talk about dying. But the caterpillar, I feel like it knows. And it doesn't quite, I don't think it knows. It's like, I have a perfect mental image of this butterfly, and that's who I'm becoming. Like, that doesn't feel right to me. That doesn't feel true to me. I don't know. Maybe it does, but I don't think so. It just has this knowing. It's like, I got to build the thing, get inside, or build it around me. I forget how it works. They just do it around themselves. And then I've got to reorganize, and they become some puddle of caterpillar soup. And then they're like, everything reorganizes to become the butterfly. All they have to know is, I don't want to stay here. I don't know what I'm supposed to look like. I don't really know the ultimate version of who I'm becoming. I just need to know to build the space I need, get inside, and see what happens. It could be that simple, right? But so much of our world is designed to like leak. We talked about this today too, like extract our attention from us, our life force energy. And it's like the Netflix, the Facebook, the sports. Not all sports are bad. I'm just saying, if you like if you're only about any one thing and it just is all consuming, it's that our energy leaks into it. It's like my elbow pops. So this, like, getting into the chrysalis is that in order to allow reorganization to occur is like, call back that energy leakage, call it back. There are meditations about that. Just Google it up, YouTube it up, energy callback meditation, whatever you want to search up, it's out there, and it will guide you through like visualizing, using language, using affirmations, whatever way works for you to call back your energy. It's a real thing. You can do it. And even if you don't feel like that it's leaked out, do it anyway. And you might notice after the fact, in hindsight of doing it, oh my God, I feel so empowered. It must have been leaking. So anyway, allow that reorganization to happen. There's that like trust that builds within the reorganization. There's a trust that builds when you actually call back your energy, knowing that you're giving yourself a gift, you're doing something for yourself. That's what builds the trust, because you're like, oh, I do care about myself. I do care about my growth. I do care about unstucking to moving forward, because there might be something that's waiting for me to step into, to embody, to become, that will do people a service. It's not just about us, is it? Like, we play so small. All of these are little offshoots we can go down. I'll try to rein it in. I'm just saying, like, if you need a reason to do it, it is to build, to go into that cocoon, the chrysalis, and wait to see what'll happen, because that whole waiting thing is not very human, is it? We're so impatient. We're not good at waiting, and we're not good with not knowing things, are we? We are. I love naming things and just like throwing it out there. Like, we're not good at certain things right out of the gate. We want to be good at everything right away, don't we? We're like, if I'm not good at it right away, I don't want to do it. It's not worth it. And it's like, call yourself out on that. And laugh at yourself and say, you silly human, whatever it takes for you to actually do it, call yourself out, hold yourself accountable. You can do hard things. And then once you do it, you're like, oh, that wasn't actually hard. It's like such every time, just do it. So a trust builds in that doing of calling back your energy and actually going into the quiet, carving out your space, giving yourself the gift is what says, oh, I do love myself. Okay, I do feel like I'm worth it. And that builds the trust between you and you, whoever those two identities are that are talking. So anyway, that is kind of like how to do reorganization. It's not necessarily this step A, step B, step C, 1, 2, 3. Here's the map. Here's the protocol. Because each one of us is so uniquely different. So I did want to show you something that I see with my clients while doing, like in all the modalities I do, I see reorganization before my eyes real time. I love it so much. I can see it happening in their bodies, in their own realizations. I love my clients so much, and their willingness to to go with me, to go there, right? Because they have these same things. Like, that's why I'm making this video. I see it in front of my eyes real time, and it is the most beautiful, beautiful thing when people want to love themselves, want to build that trust in themselves, because they know I've been stuck here for so long. I'm done. There's like a doneness and a readiness. So what I want to share with you is like from a craniosacral perspective. And if you don't know what craniosacral therapy is, you can Google that up too. It is a pretty profound healing modality for all dimensions, all levels of the body, from energetic to nervous system to fascia to there hasn't been a system yet we haven't touched. Although they might say, you might think craniosacral. Oh, we only deal with ear to ear. Physically, sometimes I'll describe it that way, but energetically and all the other ways, it is so deep and profound. So anyway, you can search that up. This is not a craniosacral lesson. However, I did want to show you something that might paint a picture for what reorganization can look like. So I'm going to just flip, because we're practicing all these. I've reorganized. Talk about reorganization. This has been a weekend of reorganizing the setup. So here we go. So this is what I have. This is called it does look funny. It really does. Like, people see this. That's why I don't have it sitting out in my studio, like my work studio, because they'd be like, what is that? She's weird. So this is the still point inducer. This is, so Upledger, Dr. Upledger is the founder of craniosacral therapy. Now it has roots deeper back in osteotherapy and all of that. Osteopathy. Words are hard. But it goes much further back. And again, this isn't a lesson in that. But if you see the word Upledger, when you're Googling up craniosacral therapy, that's the lineage of education that would probably be most advisable to follow, because it's based in the science that Dr. Upledger developed. So anyway, what a still point is what we're actually, I'm getting all the chills. Going into the chrysalis is the still point. Now, the way we use a still point in craniosacral therapy is I literally, at the start and end of a session, definitely at the start, there's a certain hand position, and your head is laying in here. But it's not just that. It is, I am intentionally inducing a still point in your craniosacral rhythm. Again, not a lesson, but there is a natural rhythm to the body that we can palpate, that we can feel into. And you have a unique rhythm. I have a unique rhythm that tends to go like 6 to 12 cycles a minute. So it's different than the heart rate, the breath rate, all the other rates in the body, and it is perceivable and it is super noticeable. And so what we do, the theory is, in working with craniosacral therapy, when we induce a still point, that allows the body to reorganize. And our body naturally does that so many times a day. We just may not notice what's happening until we get attuned to it. And we're like, oh. A lot of times my deep breaths are reorganization. But anyway, so we feel that, we do it for our client at the start of a session so that their body can take in the treatment they're about to receive from a fresh, reorganized starting point. Okay, what that looks like in practice, and that you may actually feel this in different ways throughout your day, is, and in meditation maybe especially, is like when we start a still point, it might feel like nothing's happening. It just feels like a certain pressure at the base of the head. The reason this is important is I can do a still point on myself just by laying on this. Like, in that same spot. My hands, the palms of my hand mimic the round parts of this silly looking thing. The still point inducer. So you could get one of these and do it yourself and help yourself reorganize all the time if you want. But that's what we do in a session. When we do this, I notice I'm looking down at the client's face, eyes are closed. I almost said 99%, pretty much 100% of the time, people have their eyes closed when this is happening. They're just breathing naturally. They're just kind of probably like, what's this all about? And then what starts to happen a little ways in, I notice, when your eyes, I don't know if you can see this. I won't know if I'm doing it right till I watch this back, but like the eyes will start, beneath the eyelids will start going back and forth. They're not doing it intentionally. They are not aware that they might feel something, like when it's happened to me, there's this building up sensation happening. And this is where you might relate it to that buildup of anxiety happening, right? There's like a building sensation going on in the body. I know you felt it in one way or another, whether it's here, whether it's like the anxiety feeling, whether it's like that buildup that says, I need a deep breath. And it's like, there's this buildup, and sometimes you just don't know when it's going to hit, but there's a building in some way. And it can happen in 100 other different ways too. How like all of a sudden I'm feeling like my breath wants to change, and all of a sudden I either take this giant inhale, exhale, and this just happened to me a while ago. I started yawning like a mofo, like 100 yawns in a row. Maybe not 100, but close. It was a noticeable one. Like a couple yawns, you're like, oh, okay, I'm probably just fatigued. Maybe I can use a little cat nap. But something happens with me, and this happens to me like Reiki, craniosacral treatments all the time. Like when I'm co-regulating with another person, there's like that yawning to me signals a movement and reorganization of energy, a transmutation, if you want to call it that. You can come at this from all different angles. But a reorganization is also, to me, now that I'm saying it, transmutation of energy as well. So anyway, when we go there and you start, like, there's this like buildup happening in the body, and I can see it behind their eyes. And then usually that will settle. At the same time, I feel the rhythm let go and disappear. The rhythm comes to a still point. It is still. There's no more flexion and extension. That's what we call the rhythm, where it's like I can feel the movement of the body opening out and then extending back toward me. There's like this, so it's like the body gets wide, the body gets long, the body gets wide, the body gets long. That's our rhythm, the craniosacral rhythm in a nutshell. But it's so subtle, you would never see it, but you can feel it. So all of a sudden, when everything's building, I can feel the pressure mounting because I'm holding it like a dam, like I'm holding a barrier there to not flow with the rhythm. So I sense the rhythm, I bring it to a still, create that barrier. And when their body feels, it's not flexing anymore. Why am I not flowing? I don't know. I'm personifying it. Then all of a sudden, it gives the body a chance. It's like mounting, and that, like with that twitch, with the pressure, and then the still point, everything becomes still. Their eyes come to a stillness. They usually, a lot of times, have a giant inhale, exhale. And then we move on with the treatment. Now the still point, it comes back. The rhythm comes back after a certain amount of time. They don't just stay in still point. That's just a reset, if you want to call it that. So we're looking for, what is our reset? That's what this little example to me is so fascinating, because it's like, it is baked into our physiological system, our nervous system, our body, our tissues. That rhythm can be seen with the eyeballs. That's how Dr. Upledger discovered it. He was in a spinal surgery where the spinal column and the meninges were exposed, and he's like, he couldn't hold them still. Like his job in that surgery when he was like a little baby surgeon was to hold the meninges still for this other surgeon, and he couldn't. I may be getting this like a little wrong. I'm maybe taking liberties. And the main surgeon was like, dude, why can't you hold that still? And Dr. Upledger was like, it's moving on its own. And the other guy was probably like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't move. Get a grip. And he's like, I'm trying to get a grip, but it's moving. Like that's how he discovered the rhythm. It's so fascinating that it's in our body. It's not woo-woo. It is science. If you want to call it science, it's material reality. And it's our body's wisdom. And we can give it a reset and allow that reorganization to take place. I believe, like, you don't need a craniosacral therapist necessarily to do this. You may not even need one of these to do this. I think we can do it in meditation. I think we can do it in all sorts of mindfulness and meditation practices. I think we can do it with breath work, which is where my next fascination is taking me. So there are so many ways to create the reset for ourselves, the still point for this reorganization to occur. And to me, I just want to cry. I'm getting all the chills. I'm getting all the emotions about how it's such it could be the key that unlocks everything for our trajectory, for our quantum shifting, for our leveling up. And it feels like without that understanding that this is natural for us to have, it's baked into our body to the point where our body induces its own still point when it's needed. And we can trust that. And we can do it ourselves when we're ready to take the reins and create the shift ourselves. Like, let's get going. Let's get unstuck. Let's reorganize. Let's integrate. Let's embody. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to be where my awareness knows we're going and who we're becoming. So I want to instill that. I want to like create that reset for myself, because it's not about comparing yourself to how fast the world is going. That was just an example where like things feel like they're speeding up. I got to play catch up, or I got to stay afloat, or it's like, no, that's what creates a lot of the resistance energy, is like comparison to like me feeling like I'm right here and the world's like taken off and I'm being left behind. And it's like, a lot of that momentum, and I haven't even gone here yet. I don't even know what I'm about to say, but I feel like it's a time dilation thing. I'm going to put a pin in that. There's something there that we need to explore in another exploration together. Yeah. So let's just for now say, get rid of comparison. I feel like that, like, comparing is the same essence of, I feel like something's wrong with me as compared to the world. That has the same energetic feeling, flavor. So let's just stop comparison. Stop expecting anything to look like it's supposed to look. There is no supposed to. We are each unique beings. Like, I have to think, like, that caterpillar, its soupiness probably looks different for every single caterpillar that's ever lived and ever will live and it will ever go through that process. That reorganization is unique to the caterpillar. It has a unique collection of cells. No two things are identical. Why would the soup ingredients, why would their recipe be the same? This is a ridiculous analogy and I love it. So let's stop the comparison. Let's stop expecting anything to look like it's supposed to look. Let's get rid of the word supposed to and the word should from our vocabulary, because that's what's keeping us back here. It's keeping us out of our quantum shifting. It's keeping us even farther away from our new timeline. Whatever language you like. I like all of it lately. I'm trying to like fall in love with all of it equally too, because I feel like there's different depths of felt truth in different ways of describing things. So you pick what you resonate with. Okay. So anyway, this was just to me a really science-based really like felt experience of what reorganization feels like in the body. And that's what we do with craniosacral therapy through the whole treatment. We are attuning so deeply to our client with felt touch, with palpation, and we're following your natural rhythm. Feel into this one. We're following your rhythm where your tissues want to move. We're melding into the fascial layer. Trust me, it's a thing. We are like, this is a whole separate video. We can palpate through all the layers just with intention. It's real. It's a real thing, and you can do it too. Well, maybe we'll do a practice someday. Ooh, so many ideas. This will be fun. So anyway, we're following your unique, the way that your tissues are moving, your rhythms move, your energetic layers are moving. And then we pause, we follow it to their end, wherever you take us, and we create that barrier. And then we wait for a sign of release. That sign is your reset. It's your body finding a different path. It's reorganizing into coherence. And coherence, alignment, growth, timeline shifting. Man, I love synonyms. That's what we're waiting for. And sometimes we'll follow a rhythm and it's like, oh, wait a minute. There's a pattern here. There's an old pattern their body keeps following. Feel into that one. Don't you know, like we have these patterns, don't we? Oh my God, I can't break my pattern. I can't break this thing I always do. I can't help myself. The body has them too. You are a body, by the way. So we follow that. And at some point when we recognize, wait a minute, it's not stopping. It's just following a pattern. We create a barrier again. Doesn't matter where, because the pattern doesn't stop. We'll just create it anywhere and then see how the body wants to reorganize. And that's when signs of release happen. Heat comes out, cold comes out, shivers, tingles, pulses, laughs, cries. Like I've seen almost everything, although I don't think I have because I haven't been doing this that long, just a few years. But I've seen enough to know that I don't know what to expect, and I don't go into any treatment with any expectation. Everyone is so unique. That's the number one thing I have learned, and I have such a deep belief that we are each unique, and that can be trusted. And that's where we're ending. That's where I said from the beginning that we're going to end, is that this frustration, this anxiety, this confusion feels like reorganization. And I can trust that. I can trust my body's wisdom to know how it wants to reorganize. And it's going to look different than anybody else's. And isn't that beautiful? I want to cry. How boring would it be if it looked like anybody else's? Would you get any sense of fulfillment out of that? No. You don't. No. You are so perfectly unique. Uniquely perfect. That's what I love about the word perfect. It loses all meaning until you make it unique. Remember, like the old paradigm of perfection is like, here's the standard. I got to match it and then it's perfect. Nope, that's not true, is it? Probably never was, but definitely isn't now and definitely won't be where we're going. I'm talking to you from the year 2027. That doesn't fit anymore. Perfection, and I didn't know we were going to say this. It feels like a truth. Like perfection only has meaning when it is unique. Oh, I'm going to cry. We got to end there. Thank you for exploring this with me. I had no idea what journey we were going to go on. All I knew was we were going to show you this weird thing and talk about it. Yeah. Feel free to leave me your personal story if you feel compelled to share it, like your own journey with confusion and going through the reorganization, that chrysalis phase, because the more we share about our own unique, perfectly unique journeys, the more resonance we can have with each other, and trusting in our own journey It's like sharing doesn't have to mean, hey, I'm holding up an example that you can follow. It's not like that anymore. It's a felt thing. We come into this resonance with each other that's more about connection and seeing each other. And it's like when we see each other, we know our unique paths are so different. It's not the nuts and bolts that will match, it's the resonance that matches. And that's what will guide us through these quantum shifts we're going through. Thank you for being here. Bye.